If your schedule changes every single week, different city, different shift, different time zone, and you've been telling yourself that's exactly why you can't get in shape, this video is for you. If you're new here, my name is Zach Rana. I have a biochemistry degree from UC Irvine. I've competed in bodybuilding and I've traveled to over 20 countries while maintaining 12% body fat. Not because I'm super disciplined, but because I've spent years building systems that actually work when my environment was changing constantly. I now coach traveling professionals, executive consultants, healthcare leaders who are in the same position I was in. And the story I'm gonna walk you through today has one of the most unpredictable schedules I've ever seen. Who we're gonna talk about today is one of my clients named Corey. He is a traveling emergency veterinarian working overnight shifts, crossing 3 different time zones every week, and he had zero knowledge of macros when he started. In the last 7 months, he lost 15 pounds, built visible muscle, and resolved a back injury that had been putting him on the floor without having a consistent schedule. Like, he was working overnights one week and then days the next. So he didn't meal prep a single thing, and he never had a week that looked like the one before it. What Corey did wasn't complicated to solve this, but it did require building a system specifically designed for someone whose routine is having no routine. That's a very different problem than what most fitness advice is telling you, right? He wasn't working a 9 to 5. He wasn't able to just meal prep all of his meals and schedule in his workouts to be the same time every single day. That just wasn't feasible. So let's first reverse back into time. Before working with us, Corey had tried 7 different programs. He tried personal trainers, he tried P90X, he tried Noom. He stuck with that one the longest, nearly 8 months, and still never lost more than 5 pounds. Nothing helped. Here's the truth. Nothing was inherently wrong with Corey. He's a really smart, self-discipline driven individual. It's how he became a veterinarian. But every single one of those programs he tried was built for someone who wakes up in the same city every morning, eats from the same kitchen, goes to the same gym. Corey doesn't do any of those things. He might have 4 hours of sleep between a shift that ends in one state and then starts in another. This system for him had to be built around that reality, not around pretending that it doesn't exist. I get fired up when I talk about this because the reason traveling professionals like Corey can't stay consistent is not about discipline. A lot of the fitness stuff out there tells you like you just gotta want it bad enough, right? But it really comes down to how can we engineer your environment, your sleep schedule, your meal windows, your gym around this crazy lifestyle, okay? I'm gonna show you in this video exactly how we did that with Corey. So let's dive into exactly how we did that. Where he started, what changed, and what 7 months of work actually looked like. Corey's an emergency vet. He's been in the veterinary field for 17 years, the last 3 of which he spent traveling the country, being placed into different hospitals, different states, different time zones. His schedule isn't just busy, it's genuinely unpredictable because one week he might be starting at 8 a.m., and then the next week, his workday might start at 8 p.m. He described it to me like this initially. He was like, my routine is that there is no routine. And within that, he's also been fighting a nasty back injury that he had since 2017 to 2018. Deep muscle chain running down his lower back through his glutes and into his legs, a lot of sciatica pain. At its absolute worst, it had him crawling literally from the bedroom to the bathroom on New Year's Day before he had started working with us. He tried everything for it: pain medication, massage, electrical stimulation therapy, acupuncture. None of that was giving him lasting relief. On the fitness side, again, he tried P90X, he'd gotten a personal trainer. The challenge there was he wasn't at home often enough. He did Noom for 8 months. Max he lost was 5 pounds. Here's the craziest part too, is like, Corey's a scientist, right? Like literally a doctor of veterinary medicine. He understands physiology, he understands the body, and yet still these programs didn't work for him because what I'm about to show you, they didn't cover in school. Even with his insane schedule, he was still able to see progress. That's the biggest thing I want you to understand as we dive into the tactics here, is that even with this literally insane schedule, he was still able to make progress. Here's what we need to actually start with. First off, is we need to understand macronutrients, right? Here's the part that surprised Corey the most, is that week 1 of starting our program, he was full. He told me he had to actually force himself to eat more to hit his targets. And here's the real secret behind that. We started giving him meals that were protein forward, meaning more protein and more volume with less calories. So essentially, he was able to put himself into a calorie deficit while eating more protein, which protein is the most satiating macronutrient. So it's going to keep you full for longer periods of time. Not to mention, on top of that, we also started to move his carbohydrates around properly so he could start using those in couple with some workouts and get the most out of that. Once he was able to couple his protein, his carbs, and his workouts, now what he's doing is he's starting to build a metabolic engine, right? So within his first month, Corey started to get some consistency with the gym. Now I'm just talking about 30 minutes strength training sessions 3 times a week. Nothing crazy, right? Because his schedule is literally insane. So he's getting in these workouts, he's having the right amount of protein to build and rebuild his muscles, and he's having the right amount of carbohydrates to get the most out of those workouts. And so over time, his metabolism started to go up. Now what we're able to do is over time, we're able to give him more food so he can start eating more week after week after week and still be dropping body fat. This is a big misconception a lot of people have, is they think they just have to be in a calorie deficit forever. That's not the case, and that doesn't work because your body reaches something which is called metabolic adaptation, and then it just basically will stop losing body fat and stop losing body weight as a self-preservation mechanism. So what we need to do at first is start with a deficit, start with a higher protein intake, start to change the macronutrients. You're gonna feel more full, you're gonna be able to eat less food, and you're gonna start to build muscle mass. Once we did that with Corey, then we started to reverse him and give him more and more food over time. Once he started to build momentum with working out, he never wanted to miss a workout, right? There were a couple days when he missed the gym for 3 days in a row, and he started thinking, I miss this. I miss my gym. And when he said that, he said it literally surprised him to even hear himself saying that. And that was a big turning point because that's where it got him consistent, right? Here's one more thing I want to add that's fascinating is that when it comes to dealing with his inflammation, what we started doing is cold therapy. He hates cold plunges. He hates anything with the cold. But when we were at our in-person retreat last December, all of us together would do a cold plunge every morning. And when he started doing that, he noticed his sciatica pain, his inflammation was literally gone for the rest of the day. So now he actually cold plunges regularly and has started to like them maybe just a little bit more. Not because anyone told him to, but because he realized it was what he needed and what his body needed for him to be successful. Ultimately, these are the types of mindset shifts that need to happen for you to be able to maintain something like this long term. Finally, let's talk about where Corey's at now. So 7 months later, he's 15 pounds down, his waist is down full pant size, his shirt is down a full size, his arms are too big for a medium. The rest of him doesn't fit or fits it, right? So good problem to have. He's wearing the jeans for the first time in 8 or 9 years. His belt doesn't hurt, his belly isn't overflowing. His wife noticed, his parents noticed. They sent him comparison photos and they called him a rock star. That's what a great, loving, awesome, supportive parents. People at work have been talking to him about it, and the back injury, relatively gone. I mean, it still flares up here and there, but with the cold exposure and the strength training, being able to strengthen his posterior chain and work on some mobility with his hips, he now barely has any back pain. More than all that though, Corey will tell you it's the mental shift that really surprised him the most, because what he said to me was, the more I succeed, the more awesome I feel. It's a wonderful cycle. The crazy part is he came into our program having tried 7 other things and didn't know what a macronutrient was. And he came out of the retreat as literally a different person. So it's been really, really powerful seeing him transform. And Corey, if you're watching this, I'm incredibly proud of you. I just see how powerful all of these changes are that you've made, and just how you've dove headfirst into making one change after the next. And it's all about making those small incremental changes and those small incremental skills and stacking them up. Like when you think about scaling a mountain, like you don't just stare at the summit the entire time. You have to focus on just one foot in front of the next, And that's exactly what Corey has done. He's just been focusing on like, okay, what's the next step from here? Okay, what's the next step from here? And he's just been executing over and over and over relentlessly. And it's led to what you see now, all the results that he sees. So yeah, really good stuff, Corey. Really proud of you. For everyone else watching this, right now you have two paths. Path one is you keep telling yourself your schedule's too unpredictable, your travel's too intense, and that's why you're stuck. You can keep trying Noom and other apps, and you could just kind of, you know, hope for the best. In reality, like in 12 months, probably nothing changes. Maybe, maybe it gets worse. I don't know. But path two is that you stop waiting for your schedule to calm down, because you know that it never really will. I mean, maybe there will be some, quieter seasons, but there's always going to be another busy one. And you do what Corey did and realize, like, okay, if there are other people out there who are seeing results and who are able to do this with a crazy schedule, then why can't I, right? And so Corey took the actions, he took the steps. For him, it meant working with us directly. For you, it could be you can continue to consume my content, or if you're ready to work with me and my team, you can click the link down below, fill out the form, and we can help you out as well, help you design a system that works for your life. Regardless of whether you do that today or not, I hope that this video was helpful, gave you some value, gave you some actionable steps, and a thought process to think through how you can actually make changes like this a reality in your life. If this was helpful, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments any questions that you have, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.